What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome in to another edition of MVP Games Live right here on Twitch.tv or YouTube. I am joined, as I always am, with my fellow co-host, my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin.
Hey guys.
Soapy, how you doing today, besides the internet issues that we're going to have to deal with during the show?
I'm doing okay.
Soapy's like, it's just a normal day. It's another Thursday for you. I kind of feel like I got the Eeyore response out of you. It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's more or less of just, I've just not really been in a super good mood today. So
no, I mean, I wouldn't guess if your internet keeps dropping out. So like,
no, that's not even the reason.
Okay.
There's other stuff there.
Into the housekeeping, that's number one. If you see Soapy disappear to my left, that's why. He'll come back periodically. Number two, join the Discord. Link down below, that link in the description on YouTube or !Discord if you're in Twitch right now to get into that great community where we're having discussions each and every day. Also, if you want to support us, go to patreon.com/MVPvids. That's the main way you can support us, but you can also support us by throwing us a sub on Twitch, where we are live every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. And we are also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment as well. So we got a jam-packed show today, talking about a little bit of Farcry delays, a little bit of Everwild losing creative directors. Everyone's losing everything nowadays. CD Projekt Red has apologized, and a little bit more that I'm going to leave as a secret. But the first thing we're diving into is Far Cry and Rainbow Six Quarantine have been delayed due to COVID-19. VGC has the article that says, Ubisoft has delayed the release of Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Quarantine to its next business year starting in April 2021 due to production challenges related to work from home because of COVID-19. Ubisoft Toronto developed open world shooter Far Cry 6 had been scheduled to be released February 18th of 2021, while Rainbow Six Quarantine was due to be released in March 31st, 2021 as well. Both titles will now be released during Ubisoft's 2021-2022 fiscal year, beginning on April 1st, 2021, to leverage their full potential in the context of production challenges due to COVID-19. The delays were announced as Ubisoft published its second quarter earnings results on Thursday. And then they had an update that in a follow-up conference call, Chief Financial Officer Frederick Dugust said Ubisoft now plans to release the games in September of 2021. Development Skull and Bones, which is also scheduled to release during the 2021-2022 fiscal year, is progressing very well. He said. So, Soapy, I'm going to ask you. Of course, the article goes on, mentions The Division and James Cameron's Avatar 2, but those are 2022. We're not going to touch those. But Far Cry and Rainbow Six Quarantine, how big of a deal to you is it that these two games are being delayed into not even like, basically it's almost a full year, from February and March all the way to September?
I don't think it's an insanely huge deal. It's mostly because, they're just being upfront with it and being like, hey, listen, this is the reason it got pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not any actual other reasons besides. I mean, there's probably other ones as well.
Yeah.
But, it's not insanely alarming to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, once again, that may just be that I don't apparently view anything as worrisome.
Yesterday, some people were like, man, the sky's falling. Soapy's like, nope, not falling to me. Everything looks fine over here. This to me, I know yesterday that I was a little bit, was it yesterday or the day before where we talked about, no, it was the day before where we talked about Cyberpunk. And I was a little bit heated because of that. But this is different. Like, I'm coming into this going, okay, does it suck that if you were looking forward to Far Cry in February, that you have to wait all the way until September? Yeah, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I'd rather have a company do it the way that Ubisoft is doing this, because they basically had a decision to make here. They could say, okay, we could go and I'm going to say the CD Projekt Red route of, hey, we're going to go ahead and crunch the hell out of this because we got to have this game come out to help our earnings for this fiscal year. And instead they went with the other route of saying, well, you know what? Are we going to lose some money from this fiscal year? Yes. But like they said, maybe after looking at the reports, they're going, hey, you know what? We can kind of sacrifice this. We can take in this loss. It will not hurt us this fiscal year. I don't know how many companies are actually looking at that because of the COVID pandemic and how it's treating all different sides of our economy. But they made the tough choice of saying, hey, we're going to push it to next fiscal year. And I mean, there's a part of me that believes, yes, there's a little bit of money into this of like, I don't know if it was a, hey, we can do this and it won't hurt us, or a, we have to do this. But there's a part of me also that would like to think this is also because, hey, we don't want to put out a shit game in February or March. We want these to be the best games that they can be, and we just can't do that working from home.
Yeah, and I think there is a very strong chance that that's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's going to also really depend on what they, like, basically, I think it also maybe they also probably want to hide a fact a little bit with this of, like, hey, the game's not close to being ready, so we're going to kind of use this as a premiere opportunity of being like, hey, man.
I mean, why not?
Joke's on you.
Why not?
Yeah, may as well.
Why not hide it if that's the fact and use COVID as the scapegoat?
Yeah. I mean, hell, it works for some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just something, though, that's like, yet again, it sucks that it's being delayed. But hopefully there aren't any problems yet again. Most company, like, here's the thing I'll ask you, Soapy, the last thing is many companies. So, like, the company my mom works for, Dave's company, other friends that I have that are working from home right now. A lot of people are saying the same thing, that most companies around, I shouldn't say around the U.S., but around Illinois, because that's where most of my friends are, their companies are saying, hey, we plan to be working from home until July. Let's say that's the case for Ubisoft. I almost said CD Projekt Red, but let's say that's the case for Ubisoft, to where it's like we're going to be working from home until July. Is that going to create any additional problems for Far Cry? Or is this just a, hey, let's delay it until September, hoping that we're back at work before then so that we can really get this game done by September? Do you think they're planning it to be like, hey, we can get it out in September while still working from home?
Yeah, I think pushing it back to September, I think primarily is going to be a, like, we can guarantee by this month we're going to have it done.
Okay.
Because, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already in working order. Because obviously February is only, 4 months away?
Yeah, it's not even that far. What we've got,
yeah,
November, December, January, 4 months away.
Like, I probably would say right now they're probably in, like, the beta or even at that, like, late alpha stage of the game. To where, like, it's like, playable. It's just not what you want as a final launch. So, obviously, take 4 months to finish off the game if they were in studio. But now, from working from home, obviously, it does get a little harder. Mostly because it's one of those things of, that now, while you're sitting at home, not really being able to do much, you have to be able to find some way to... Sorry, I don't know why. My brain just decided to turn off, like, halfway into that.
You got to find some way to, like... And plus, it's the whole, like... You don't have the exact same... Like, you can take computers and stuff home with you, but if you don't have the same exact accessibilities at home that you would at work, that's going to create challenges.
Yeah. And that's why, for instance, whenever we see situations where when companies are forcing people to go home, obviously it's one of those things that, like, it's not preferred.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, there are people who have worse internet than each other. For instance, because, like, you may have, like, a standard you set for your employees of, like, oh, we need you to have this internet speed. That internet speed may not be available to people who live out in the country or people who live out in sort of a more rural area. If my brain can decide to let me figure out how to say the word.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the thing of where factor in all that extra, we don't know how long it's going to take for this. Obviously, if they're back in studio before then, I wouldn't be surprised if 2 or 3 months afterwards we see them pump out the game.
Yeah.
But I think just for now, it's best for them to push it back to September, kind of give themselves a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge jump. That's 7 months from the original launch?
March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 7 months. Man, you are right on with the math today.
Yeah, dude, trust me. I may be actually the dumbest motherfucker in MVP, but let me tell you, my math skills are on point sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing that you make me think of is, like you said, let's say July they come back and they're like, oh, the game's ready. We could actually put the game out in mid-August. In your mind, could they say, well, fuck it, we're going to have the game come out in August? Or no matter what at that point, is it like, you know what, let's fucking just wait and have it come out in September?
I think it's going to really depend on what other games are launching around that point. Now, obviously, I don't know if, we don't have a lot of confirmed release dates for games around that time, so...
Not the end of 20... People are concerned about the end of 2020 before we start thinking about the end of 2021.
Yeah. So it's one of those things of, obviously, we don't know exactly what other games are releasing around there. I think it's Ubisoft has kind of realized that a lot of times they can't compete with other big developers because obviously they have such a niche audience with their games.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say a niche audience. It's more or less of you play a Ubisoft game for 3 days, beat the story, and then you're done. You never go back and touch it until a DLC comes out.
Yeah. Sounds like my time with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah. And it's one of those things of, I think they try to find that sweet spot in between really big releases. And that's why, for instance, I think they were aiming for early on in the year before.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, not a lot of games come out early in the year. Their biggest competition from the launches that at least I know off the top of my head would be not Assassin's Creed. It'd be fucking Hitman. Yeah. Would be the closest game to it. And it's
because they've already delayed, like I mentioned, the James Cameron Avatar game and the next Division were supposed to come out in 2021. Those are now pushed to 2022 because of this push by Farcry and Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Sorry, give me a second.
You're good. What I'll do then while you take that second is let's segue over into the next thing we're going to talk about. And we talked about earlier this week where Halo Infinite, they lost one of their directors. Well, another game, a game from a company that we've referenced before, Soapy, last week when we talked about Banjo and Conquer. Will we ever get a new game from them via Rare? Well, we're talking about Everwild, which is the new Rare game that many people are excited about. And VGC has the article about how they just lost their creative director. And here's the story. Everwild's most senior developer, creative director Simon Woodruff, has resigned from his position at Rare, VGC understands. In a statement issued to VGC, the Microsoft-owned studio confirmed the department and insisted that Everwild development would be in good hands going forward. Studio head Craig Duncan said, we thank Simon for all his hard work on Everwild and wish him the very best of luck for the future. The Everwild team are in good hands and passionate about building a game that will give players unforgettable experiences in a natural and magical world. No reason was given for the creative director's decision to leave, though studio sources told VGC that he had been absent for some time after submitting his resignation earlier this month. Woodruff joined Rare in 2012, following over a decade as head of design at Sega's Technology Group, where he most recently creative director for Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed. Soapy, the thing I'm going to ask you, this is a game that many people are excited about because of how it looks, how visually stunning this game looks. I'm going to ask you, is this a big deal, little deal, no deal, that the creative director is stepping away from the Everwild project?
I mean, you know me, dude. Nothing's ever a big deal with me.
Is it any kind of a deal? Like, is this anything, or is this just like, nothing?
To me, it's nothing.
Okay.
Obviously, it may just be that, like, I'm underestimating the impact of some of these people to the games. But it's one of those things where it's one of those things of, you know, hearing, like, and obviously, you know, companies are always going to be like, oh, you know, if the team is doing, you know, the team is passionate, the team is this.
The team is passionate. They're going to do the best job. We thank Simon for everything that he's done. We're going to keep going. We're going to make Everwild great again.
Yeah.
Basically what they're doing.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, it may be one of those things of, like, I don't think this was a leaving of, like, oh, I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. This may have just been, you know, wanted a new change of scenery. Because obviously, for instance, it even said earlier this month he put in his resignation.
And that's the thing I was going to point out is, for me, that is unique, where it says no reason was given for his decision to leave. Though studio sources told the VGC that he had been absent for some time after submitting his resignation earlier this month. So it could have just been a, hey, I'm going to resign. Here's my 2 weeks. And then basically he was just like, kind of the mindset that some people have of like, well, you know what? I already gave my 2 weeks. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm just not going to do work.
Yeah. And obviously, like, I don't think that's probably what happened. Like, there may have been things going on outside of it.
Yeah.
That obviously, you know, may not want to be public information.
Yeah, it could have been, hey, I got shit going on in my personal life. Here's my 2 weeks. And then he was absent because of that. Could have been that too. That's the brighter side. That's probably the right side to be looking on.
Yeah. It's just with stuff like this, I always prefer to view it in, like, the better light of, like, oh, you know, there's got to be a reason for it other than just him being like, no, fuck you. I don't want to be here. What are you going to do? Fire me? Like, it's one of those things you don't really want to... Yeah, especially in the gaming industry, you don't want to have it that you burn bridges. Because there's only a certain amount of bridges you can have. And obviously it's one of those things where, you know, working with a company that Microsoft owns, burning a bridge with Rare is probably burning your chances of working with Microsoft ever again. So, like, I don't think it was leaving on bad terms or anything. I think it was more of just a personal reason. Which obviously, you know, if anything's going on, I hope the best for him. I hope, you know, life's turning out good for him. And everything. But once again, I don't think this is a major deal. Its creative directors are able to be replaced, especially by someone who's already on the team. Yeah.
The article also says, although he originally joined Rare as creative director for the entire studio, it's understood that Woodruff's duties were shifted to Everwild as Sea of Thieves became well established under the leadership of veteran Greg Miles and producer Joe Neate. Everwild's direction will now seemingly be left solely to executive producer Luis O'Connor, the Conker's Bad Fur Day animator, who has led most of the game's promotion. So you've got somebody in O'Connor who has a track record, Conker's Bad Fur Day, a game that is liked by a big amount of people. He's been leading the production throughout the whole thing, and I mean, even maybe there, like they even mentioned where he was shifted, Woodruff was shifted from Sea of Thieves to Everwild, to where it was like, maybe after working on Everwild a little bit, he's like, you know what? I don't want to work on this. Like, I came to work on, like, Sea of Thieves. I want to go back over there. I don't want to work on this. So it could be different things. We're speculating on that part. Don't want to do that because obviously we don't know if this was a good or bad kind of cut, but it's just a interesting piece of information that Everwild, a game that everyone is super excited about for its ambitious visuals, is losing a creative director this close to kind of the game's reception. So just wanted to throw that one out there. Then Soapy, this to me is a pretty big article, and this is from PCGamer.com. We talked about Cyberpunk being delayed until December 10th. Oh shit, I got something in my eye. Wait for it. God, I hate that. It like was stinging my eye. Okay. That probably did not look attractive on camera. But PC Gamer has an article that says CD Projekt boss apologizes for saying Cyberpunk 2077 crunch is not that bad. I'm just going to start with the update. It says the boss's comments minimalizing the impact of crunch on the studio sparked an immediate backlash, which he has now apologized for in an email sent to employees obtained by Jason Schreier of Bloomberg. I had not wanted to comment on crunch, yet I still did. And I did it in a demeaning and harmful way, he said. Truth be told, it's only now when the stress connected to the delayed decision and a call itself is lifting that I am fully realizing the extent of my words. I have nothing to say in my defense. What I said was not even unfortunate. It was utterly bad. For that, please accept my most sincere and honest apologies. He also invited employees who want to speak to him directly to join him in person or online for a chat. The crunch presumably continues. Soapy, what do you think about this? What is your thoughts about this? Basically, we talked about the crunch when it happened. We talked about the delay earlier this week for Cyberpunk. What are your thoughts on this? Do you buy the apology? Do you forgive him for this? Or is this you know what? This can only mean bad things for Cyberpunk. And people, yet again, like every time a Cyberpunk thing comes up, I ask the question, should people be worried?
I don't think this is a genuine apology. I think this is more or less of like, oh shit, like we got caught, more of a situation.
We got.
Yeah, I don't think it's something to be worried about. It's one of those things where CD Projekt Red is known for their crunch. Like more than basically half of Witcher 3 was crunched.
Good point. You bring it up a lot.
Yeah, so it's one of those things of it doesn't surprise me. But like obviously, now we're starting to cry. Like just people in general are starting to give companies more shit for crunching, because crunching's been around for a while. It's just most people didn't care until people have started actually like getting into the gaming industry and realizing, oh fuck, I don't like working 80-hour weeks.
Yeah.
I don't like being away from my family for like 3 months because I'm being forced to crunch in a game. Obviously hopefully this teaches CD Projekt Red of like, hey, maybe you should knock it off. But once again, we also all thought they were going to knock it off after Witcher, and they just kept going. So who knows?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I kind of look at this and it's like, is the apology nice? I guess. But like at the same time, I look at this and I go, you shouldn't have made the comments in the first place. Like, we talked about it when the crunch comments were made. We're like, whoa, okay. Looks like crunch is going to crunch. And like you even brought up, you're like, well, you know what? It's the CD Projekt Red thing. They're just known for crunching, man. And it looks like they're going to do it again. Well, I'm going to say it again. I'm worried for Cyberpunk. Am I still going to play it? Most likely. But like, this is a game that cannot buy good press right now. Like every story that we bring up about either CD Projekt Red or Cyberpunk right now is just negative. So like this is not what you want when your game was less than a month from coming out, but now a little bit over a month from coming out now that it got pushed to December 10th. So there's a part of me of like, is this going to hurt people where they don't buy the game? No. But at the same time, I'm going to be interested to see what the game looks like at launch because of everything we talked about, because of the delays, because of the crunch, because of COVID in general. I'm going to be a little bit weary and a little nervous about Cyberpunk because of everything basically that we've been talking about it leading up to this point. Soapy, the next thing we're talking about today, this is right in your wheelhouse, a little Borderlands news, Soapy. As this is from Polygon.com talking about how Gearbox has shown off Arms Race. the new Borderlands 3 Battle Royale. So you know Soapy's going to love it, right, guys? Like, it's not just
dude.
Borderlands, but it's your favorite game mode, Soapy. It's a Battle Royale.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Borderlands has a big, expansive setting compared to other two games, compared to the other two games, and it's about to get a little bigger. Gearbox announced Arms Race, which is the galaxy's premier reality murder show. Arms Race takes place on a new map, which, like other Battle Royale games, players will drop into the map with no gears, abilities, or tools. Then they'll search the map to find power-ups and race towards the final section of the map. Arms Race is primed to take advantage of some of the best parts of Borderlands, which is promising. In our review of Borderlands 3, Polygon praised the gameplay. Introducing Arms Race, the Galaxy Premiere Murder Show. Drop, blah, 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 blah. That's what I just read. That tweet is the same thing. In Borderlands 3, you'll once again have a nearly limitless array of guns to collect, sell, or use in combat, which makes every pickup potentially exciting. Polygon's Ben Kuchera wrote, "Finding a gun with a unique or enjoyable collection of modifiers and abilities is one of our series' greatest joys." So they're kind of saying that's going to be the same. Arms Race launches on November 10th. Happy early birthday to Dave. What are your thoughts on this, Soapy? Did Borderlands 3 need a Battle Royale mode?
No, they didn't, but they were going to do it anyways because they want to bring people back to the game that left. And then they don't realize this ain't how you bring people back who want to play a Borderlands game. Like, I don't know if I could just genuinely make it seem like I don't give a shit about this at all. Like, out of all the new content
you don't like Battle Royale modes. It is not a surprise that Soapy doesn't like a BR mode.
Yeah, and it's the fact of, how about you fix things in the story? How about you fix the glitches and shit like that in the game? Don't be like,
new Battle Royale mode, man. That's what you want, dude, right? That's what you need.
Yeah, we need it. Yeah, let's put a fucking Battle Royale in. Let's not, add more DLC that gets more and more content added to the game.
Like Jalen and Jacoby say, you got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, and I totally... Every Borderlands player is like, man, you know what I really want in this game? A Battle Royale. Like, it's just one of those things that it's dumb. Because whenever they're like, oh, you can get all these guns, it's like, cool, I can't wait until someone gets one of the fucking Mayhem 10 weapons and just absolutely fucking shits on everyone with it.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying of where people don't realize whenever they're like, oh, all you have, you're just using guns for their merit. You're not using it for their action skill. Dipshit, people use the gun because it's good. Like, if I get a fucking Nighthawking, let me give an example. If someone gets a fucking Nighthawking, you're done for. I don't give a fuck if you got skills in the game or not.
Now, do you think they'll keep weapons like that, like the Mayhem 10s, out of the mode?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. But knowing my luck, they'll put the fucking back burner in so I can just never fucking enjoy the game. And by me playing it, I mean I'm not fucking playing it until I get to listen to people on Twitter constantly shit on them for it.
Soapy, you got to ask the question, like, Dave and I have been asking this question when we used to do Too Old the Game a year ago. Soapy, is this going to be the Fortnite killer?
No, this is going to be the fucking Borderlands 3 killer.
It
focuses... My bad.
I was just going to say, I saw this and, like, there's a part of me that's like, okay, what's going to be Borderlands' kind of spin on this? And the thing where they're kind of like, oh, it's a new reality show. I'm like, okay, cool. You're digging into what Borderlands is. You're digging into that comedy. You're making it a part of the story. But then there was like the thought of like, does Borderlands need a battle royale mode? Like, to me, the only battle royales that have really kind of stuck is Apex Legends had a big initial release, but like I barely hear about Apex now. It's still around, it's still viable, but I don't hear about it as much. Fortnite is still king. Warzone, I didn't expect Warzone to be as big as it is. I would say Warzone is the second most popular BR mode behind Fortnite. And then you've got Valorant, who, I mean, Valorant is still new and like there's still a freshness.
Valorant's more of a CS:GO type of game, not so much of a battle royale.
Okay, I guess. So it's like, it's more of like, okay, maybe I'm confusing that then. But that's Valorant's more of like a CS:GO Overwatch. That's what I'm thinking. Not Valorant. But like Apex, I barely hear about. Really, the only two battle royale modes I hear about are Fortnite and Warzone. Those are the main two as I wait for Soapy to come back because his internet cut. Soapy, like I said, Fortnite and Warzone, those are the main two. Those are the kings. So it's like, if you're Borderlands, what, do you think you're going to be able to compete with those two?
No, and I'll be brutally honest, they shouldn't even try to compete with them. You probably shouldn't even come out with the BR mode. Just honestly, at this point, just fucking retract the statement. Take back the entire Borderlands show that happened today.
Is that where this came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, it was announced ahead of time. It's just today we got more of the details.
Oh, okay.
And it's one of those things that, like, I get it. It focuses on the best aspect of Borderlands 3, which is the gunplay.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, there's no this game is not built for a battle royale.
Yeah.
Like, and it's also the fact that, like, oh, you basically just play as the Vault Hunters, but without their skills. I'm like, cool, so you take away what makes the Vault Hunters cool?
Is it almost like, I get where they're trying to, like, hey, you can then build your own skills. It's like, yeah, but you got to find them. And then it's all luck. It's all luck about what skills you find, what weapons you find. Like you said, you find one of those Mayhem 10s or one of those higher up weapons, you're done for. Like, GG, son.
Yeah, I can't wait until whenever they decide to fucking... If someone does find a back burner, or they find a fucking... If they have DLC weapons thrown in there, I can't wait till someone gets the flipper and literally no one can do shit about it.
Yeah.
And then they'll nerf the fucking gun, and then knowing my luck, they'll nerf the gun in the actual fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just one of those things where I think right now, once again, like I said, Borderlands is not built for a battle royale, because if you use the exact balance of the game now, one, certain skills are going to be so fucking busted that it's absurd. Like, if obviously they're probably going to have skills of, like, they're not going to have like Megavore and shit like that. Megavore is a skill that Flat gets at the bottom of one of the skill trees that every single shot he shoots has a chance to be a critical.
Yeah.
They're definitely not going to put that one in, because if they do, GG everyone, it's done. You find that skill, you win, unless you are a trash player. Like, dude, if you pick up that perk or skill and you can't win the game, I'm sorry, you are a trash player. Like, you don't have to fucking aim. You can hit that guy in, like, their pinky toe, and it's like, all right, cool, max damage.
Yeah, for me, it's just, I'm going to be intrigued for it. I'm not going to lie, but at the same time, like, I would think Borderlands maybe doesn't need a BR mode. Hey, give me more story modes. Give me more kind of things to add on to the story, because when I played Borderlands, that's what I liked. That and shooting shit. But I mean, I guess this is just the shooting shit part of it. And like you said, the gunplay part of Borderlands. And then Soapy, the last thing, this is just a little shorty at the end, breaking news for today. Shadowlands is back on. We knew Shadowlands was going to be back on. We knew it was going to get a date. But today, the Warcraft team put out this tweet. It says, "Greeting heroes of the Horde and the Alliance. On behalf of the entire World of Warcraft team, I am excited, I like to extend a heartfelt thank you for your patience as we've continued to work on Shadowlands, and for all the words of support after we made the tough decision to delay the game. Today I am happy to share that the expansion will be arriving November 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific, November 24th at 12 p.m. Central Time. CT, that's not Central Time, CT, so over in Europe. We'd like to thank everyone across the WoW community who have helped us get where we are today, including players leveling up new characters in the Shadowlands pre-patch and keeping Azeroth's barbers extra busy, as well as all the beta testers who continue to provide us with invaluable feedback on the expansion. Since we first told you about our decision to delay, we've used the time to further polish the expansion and shore up the endgame, including overhauling the combat and rewards in the Maw, and reworking the Covenant systems to make your choice more immediately impactful and have a clearer long-term goals. Now the team is in great position to get things the rest of the way to the finish line before November 23rd. And as always, we're committed to working with you to improve the game for as long as you're out there playing it. Now that we have our launch date, we're also excited to tell you that our pre-launch event will kick off November 10th. Again, happy early birthday to Dave. So steel yourself to take on a flood of Scourge. In addition, we've set a December 8th date for the opening of our first raid, Castle Naria. Nathria? Hope I'm saying that right. Which takes players into the heart of the Sire Dentrimus layer of Ravendreth, along with the start of Shadowlands Season 1 for PvP. We're looking forward to seeing everyone take their first steps into Shadowlands and forging their destinies. See you on the other side. John Haidt, executive producer of World of Warcraft. So, Soapy, we got a lot of information there. We got, not only is the game coming out the 23rd, we got that the Scourge invasion, the pre-patch event, that is going to be happening in basically, less than 13 days. We're like 13 days away from that. So you'll have from the 10th until the 23rd to fight Scourge and get some gear and get kind of your tunes leveled up for Shadowlands. And then not just that, hey, about 2 weeks after the whole thing comes out, give you enough time to get to 60, boom, here's your first raid. Soapy, I am beyond excited about this. I am so happy. I've got one character already to 50. I've got a second character already up to 35. I plan to have a third character up to 60 by the time Shadowlands comes out. I am above the moon by this. I can finally rest at ease. Shadowlands is coming. I get to enter the Shadowlands on the 23rd. I'm probably going to be playing it that whole night that it comes out. What are your thoughts on this? I know you're not a WoW guy. I got you into WoW for a little bit this summer to see if it tickled your fancy, but your internet wouldn't let you get in on the festivities. What are your thoughts about this?
I think it's cool that it is a new date. Obviously, it's, once again, like you said, I'm not really a huge WoW guy, so yeah. I don't really know exactly what to say. I've just, it's kind of, I'm happy you guys actually have a confirmed date and everything. I mean, you guys had a date before, but it's nice to know that, I think, it's closer than it was before?
Yeah, is it? I don't think so. I think it got delayed a month. It was supposed to be October 24th, and now it's November 23rd. So it only got delayed 1 month. We'll have to get you better internet and get you a computer so you can Shadowlands with us. Soapy's like, I don't know if I want to Shadowlands with you. There's some other things I'd want to play on that computer.
Yeah, just a few other things,
Soapy's like, I don't know how intrigued I'd be to jump into Shadowlands, but yeah, that's it. That's all we got for the docket today. Yet again, another shorter show. Thank you guys for checking it out with us. Thanks for talking with us about all the news that we have today. Let us know if you're on YouTube what you think down below in the comment section. We're about a couple days away, Soapy, I would think, from the next breaking news that we should be getting, because sometime in November, we're going to get our nominations for the Game Awards. So that's going to be a big thing that we can talk about. For that show, I also think, is December 10th, the same day that Cyberpunk 2077 comes out. Which, interestingly, somebody commented on our... Remember the show we did where we kind of was like, hey, this is what, like, some of the nominations, and we made our predictions for that?
Yeah.
Somebody commented, I think this was before Wednesday, and said, well, Jeff Keighley said that Cyberpunk 2077 will probably still be in the running for best game, probably ain't going to be in the running for best game now, as it's going to come out I think it's the day of the Game Awards, right? Like, no way it gets into the Game Awards now.
If it does, then that just shows the cutoff date doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And they just throw that in there so smaller games stand no chance.
Yeah, but after this delay, I'm like, there's no way it's getting in there. Another comment on that video said, comment to that and I said, well, Last of Us 2 probably won Game of the Year now, right? Kind of throwing some shade at that. But remember, join the Discord, link down below, or exclamation Discord into Twitch chat. If you like to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is the way to go to support us. You can also throw us a sub on Twitch, twitch.tv/MVPvids, where we are live, I should say, every Monday through Friday. But we're also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment as well. For you Twitch folks, Dave and I have a special episode of MVP Games Live coming up for you, so you do not want to miss that. That is coming up in a matter of minutes. For everyone else, though, I want to thank you for watching and listening, and as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.